Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to day 2 of the Delusion Method Masterclass. I'm your host, Shani Leatham, and I'm so excited to have you back today with me because we're going to completely dive in and build off of what we learned yesterday. Yesterday was a fantastic day, and there were a lot of comments that came into my inbox after about how to actually put the practice of delusion into play. And so those people were directed to the homework. And I'm hoping that you all had the opportunity to do the homework because it really was to get you to understand that delusion is not just about denial. It's about divine vision. It's about using what you've got going on internally, your imagination, to create new worlds, to create universes, to create amazing things. And so I'm really, really excited that we get to build off of that today. So if you were here yesterday, then you'll remember that we opened with the possibility of what the world calls delusion, okay? But we know it's actually divine vision. That's what we know. We know that for sure. That's the seed bed. That's a word that I just came across recently. And I said I was going to put it into play. That's the seed bed of every breakthrough, of every breakthrough. So today we're going to move from possibility to precision, okay? And we're going to get out of theory. This is not about theory today. It's about practice. This is our practice day. Every masterclass that I do, I have the first day for knowledge and the second day for knowledge and embodiment practice. So that's exactly what today is going to be like. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping, as I always do. Today's class will be an hour and a half. There's a potential I might run over because there was a lot of information and a lot of embodiment information that I wanted to share with you. It was just necessary. Honestly, this could have been a 3-day masterclass. So I'm going to have an hour and a half of that, potentially longer, to continue the lesson and build off of yesterday. I'm going to discuss the Breakthrough Academy, which is my education company. I'm going to discuss the programs, courses, and resources that we offer for those who want to continue their education. And then there will be time for question and answer if you have any of those. So question and answer period. Or if you decide that you are private and you just don't want people up in your business and you want to ask me directly, you can go ahead and send me a DM, okay? So that's what we're doing today, so that's how we'll start. This is going to be another amazing hour and a half or more, okay? So if you have a pen and paper, great, sit back, write stuff down, learn, sit with an open mind, sit with an open heart. I want you to live in the realm of possibilities right now. I know this is foreign to a lot of people because we are so focused on what we see in front of us, based on our senses. That's what we were taught. That's how we were taught to live. But those who know, really know that real change happens on the inside. And real impact is because of what we're thinking, what we're imagining in our subconscious mind. And so I want to draw that out of you today, okay? I'm going to begin, as I do all the time, with a prayer. And so if you believe, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm going to pray for you. So just indulge with me. Indulge me. Lord God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for allowing us to all come together to learn, to grow, to elevate, to be who we were designed to be. I pray that everyone who is watching this live and watching the replay learns more about themselves and gets divinely closer to you, Lord. All of you and none of me. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Boom. Okay. So like I said, if you were here yesterday, you remember that we talked about the possibilities. Okay. We talked about the possibilities. Today, we're actually going to uncover what audacity is. Okay, so how audacity is the engine of progress. It really is. We're going to talk about what focused delusion actually looks like, because I talked about delusion, but what is streamlined focused delusion in simple terms? I'm going to talk to you about how to live from the end and the law of assumption as per Neville Goddard, the G. He was a G from Barbados, so Neville Goddard. I'm going to talk to you about how exactly to merge delusion with manifestation so that you can create new worlds, create new realities. Okay? I want that so that your inner life becomes your outer life. I don't want it to just be lived in your mind. I want it to be lived experience for you. And then I'm going to discuss, as I mentioned before, the programs from the Breakthrough Academy, specifically my signature program, which is called Unlimited, okay? So we're going to take your imagination, your audacity, and your willingness to be unreasonable and turn that energy into a reliable method for creating real world results. That's what I want for you, okay? So let's begin. Let's rise, friends. Are we ready? I have two simulcasts at the same time, hence simulcast. So if you see me going left or right, that's what you know what's going on. I've got two different platforms. I didn't do that yesterday, but I typically do. Okay, so I want to talk about the audacious dreamers. When someone says they have the audacity to do that, it's usually used in a negative connotation, like you have the unmitigated gall to say what to me? You have the nerve to do? Well, in this case, we want the nerve, that audaciousness, to apply to your dreams. Okay, so some of the world's greatest advances were because some people, they were audacious. They were unreasonable enough to imagine differently. And so, like, what do we have? We had the Wright brothers. They were bike mechanics who imagined people flying through the air. Can you imagine if we didn't have planes, what the idea would be if someone came up to you and said, I want us to fly? You would look at them like they were crazy, right? But people laughed at them and they ignored everybody's chirps, everybody's negative talk, all of it. They followed their gut, they followed their intuition, and they followed their audacity. And now that's the story of aviation for us. We're able to travel to different parts of the world, hell, out of outer space, because two brothers were audacious enough to follow their dreams, okay? To have these dreams. We had Marie Curie. She believed in scientific truths while being told that women had no place in science. Can you believe that nonsense? But she persisted, and she forged a new reality. And one of my favorite persons to talk about of all time is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela imagined an apartheid-free nation for decades, and he lived in that reality while he was in prison for 27 years. Like, come on. Okay, while he was in prison for 27 years in South Africa. His inner vision was to change a country. He became the president and changed the country because he dared to dream. Okay, he dared to dream. So these were not reckless, these were focused. These were people who assumed that their vision so consistently and fully that the world kind of had to rearrange itself to become reality. That's what happens. It rearranges itself around you. Okay? So this is why you have to dream your own dreams. You have to dream your own dreams because your expansion, it actually alters, and I wrote this down, this was really, really important. Your expansion alters the ecology around you. So that's your family, that's your friends, that's your community, that's your industry. Your delusion creates permission for others. Your delusion creates permission for others, and your audacity becomes their possibility. That is so good. That is so good. So while we're here, as you're watching, please go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. I love when I get to see how far people, what the reach is. This has been opened to the public completely, so go ahead and comment and chat with me, all of that, okay? But if you feel called to this, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is about pushing through the comfort zone, okay? But if you feel called, if you feel comfy, in the comments, I would love for you to name one thing that you thought was impossible, but that later became normal for you. So one thing that was impossible, you thought was impossible, but became normal for you later on, okay? I would love for you to do that. I would absolutely love for you to do that, okay? So you have to dream your own dreams, because if you don't, the world will assign you a role similar. No. The world will assign you a role smaller than your soul. We don't want that. The world will assign you a role smaller than your soul. Okay? And so if you don't choose your future, your current circumstances are going to choose it for you. We can't have that. Your current circumstances. Do you love the way your life is right now? Every aspect of your life, do you love it? Is there room for improvement? If you are watching this either live or on the replay, that means that there is room for improvement in some form or fashion for you. That's why you're here. You know you were made for more. You just might not know what it is or how to get it. That's why your dreams matter. Your dreams matter so much, because your current circumstances cannot get you to where you want to go. Your current identity cannot get you to where you want to go. We have to learn to be more, do more, be different. Okay? So your dreams matter because your life expands when your vision expands. Okay? Your dream matters because your family expands when you expand. Your community rises when you rise. It's not just about us. It's about who we can impact collectively. Your courage becomes the blueprint that others follow. You know when they say, you saw someone do it so you can do it yourself. You're inspired by someone else. That's exactly what it is. Your courage becomes the blueprint for others to follow. So your dreams are so important, and I don't want you to stop dreaming. And if you have, I want you to start again, because you can impact the world. Okay? Now, there are people who won't believe in you, okay? And they won't believe in possibility until you show them what's possible. Isn't that wild? Because they don't know how to use their vision. They don't access their vision. They don't do that at all. But that's okay. Not you. You're going to use your vision, and you're going to create amazing things, whether for yourself, your community, the world as a whole. That's what you're going to do. Your delusion becomes someone else's permission slip, and your transformation becomes someone else's survival guide. Oh, I love that. Your transformation becomes someone else's survival guide. And it's like a ripple effect. It causes a ripple. Your rise becomes a ripple. That's what that is, okay? So I want to talk to you about that focused delusion, that streamlined delusion. So again, most people think that delusion is just denial, but that's not what it is. We're going to talk about how to use your delusion in a focused way so that you can create what it is that you want to create. It's when you pretend so powerfully that it stops being pretend. It becomes a lived experience. You know when someone says, when you have actors, they become method actors. And when they become method actors, you cannot distinguish the difference between them and the role. Hell, they can't distinguish the difference between their identity prior to getting the role and the role. They become immersed in the role. It's almost to that kind of thing. It's akin to that. So your focused delusion is when you pretend so powerfully that your pretend stops being pretend. It starts being you. So imagine a child. I love this. Imagine a child who decides they want to be a superhero. Yeah? I just want you to picture that. A child who decides they want to be a superhero, or that they are a superhero, and they take their towel, or they take a sheet and they tie it around. They've got their cape and they're running around their home. Dun, 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 all of that, okay? They've decided that they are a superhero. And while they might not actually have superhero powers, their mind and their belief says to them that they do. But for that day, for that one moment, they are courageous, they are bold, they are confident. They're using their imagination in such a focused way, okay? Their actions change because their identity changed first. So they're thinking that I can do anything. I can do anything. I'm a superhero. I'm Tony Stark. I'm Thor. I'm Superman. I'm Wonder Woman. I'm whomever. I'm Black Panther. They're thinking that that's who they are and they have those powers. They've adopted that in their mind. They're so focused in their delusion. And because they're children, they're going to do some stupid shit and try to jump off a flight of stairs. But they are so bold and courageous that they believe that they can fly. Okay? We're going to use that boldness and courageousness and that focused delusion, not to jump off staircases, but to leap forward into life and create what we actually want, what we want our life to feel like, to be like, to look like, and all of that, okay? That's what that is. That's what that is. So, in other words, you adopt the identity of the future version of yourself, and you act as they would today. Does that make sense? You adopt the identity of the future version of yourself and you act as they would today. So there's no hoping. There's no faking it. We don't do fake it till you make it. That's not what this is at all. Okay? Because faking it means that it's not embodied. It just means you're a great pretender. You're a liar. We're not doing that. You're embodying it boldly. You're embodying it boldly, okay, my friend? So again, focused delusion is choosing to believe in the outcome you want until reality has no choice but to give it to you. Reality has no choice but to comply. It's just going to bend to your will. Because you have focused delusion, and that's awesome, okay? It's not chaos. It's not fantasy. It's a disciplined skill. A disciplined spiritual skill. It's faith, it's imagination, it's repetition, it's identity, it's emotional alignment, it's assumption, it's intention. That's what it is. Action in the direction of the vision. Going towards what you want. Action in the direction of the vision. And it's a refusal to return to your old self. That part poses a challenge to people because, you know, while you are changing, internally, your world is staying the same until the change is completely made. That means that the people who get on your nerves are going to continue to get on your nerves. That means the people at work are still going to, or ask you for things that you've already done, or press you about this, or, you know what I mean? That means that your family, your kids, mom, dad, still going to get on your very last nerve. And you have to be the new person instead of letting them bring you back into the old. Okay? So that's the challenge. But there's a refusal to return. This is how miracles happen. That's it, just like that. And this is how impossible. There we go. There we go. Okay. So what does that look like in everyday life? Okay, let's talk about what this actually looks like in everyday life, your focused delusion. So it's the founder who speaks like a CEO, even before they have the company at the status of needing a chief executive officer, okay? Even before there's clients. It's the mother who sees her child as brilliant before the world does, yeah? It's the creator who produces work or who works as if millions are watching. It's the entrepreneur who invests in an idea that no one believes in yet. That's how revolutionary things happen. That's what Steve Jobs did. That's why my iPhone users, iPhone watchers are able to use this thing here, okay? It's the person with debt who begins saving and speaks like wealth is normal. That's what that is. That's what it looks like. They affirm that I am wealth even before there's any evidence of it. Any evidence of it at all, okay? It's the leader who shows up and they're calm and they're with clarity under pressure. Even under pressure, okay? Because they've assumed that they lead with mastery. That's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. You're actually training your mind and your body. You're not pretending. You're putting it through a whole process. You're pre-aligning to what it is that you desire. Okay? It's because you're acting as if it's already done. You're acting as if it's already done. And that's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it works. So I want to do a little micro practice, okay? A little practice. You don't have to do anything, but I just want you to sit tall in your chair. Wherever you are, sit tall. And I want you to take one deep breath. Just a big cleansing breath. And for 30 seconds, just imagine that you are one version, that you are the version of you who has already won. Just imagine for 30 seconds that you are the version of you who has already won. I want you to imagine what you walk like, what you speak like, how you breathe. Breathe like them. Just imagine it. Got a few seconds left. Just imagine it. Okay? How does that feel? That's putting it into practice. In 30 seconds, you can imagine yourself as the person who's already won, who already has everything that you desire, who's living the life that you've always wanted to live. And in that moment, you can just see it and feel it and breathe as them and think as them. And if you're walking into a room, walk in as them. That's a quick embodiment. You can do that. Now, if you were to put that into practice all the days of your life, everything that you desire would be yours. Everything that you would desire would be yours, or better. So that's what I want you to do, okay? Or better. So now let's talk about merging delusion with manifestation, because a lot of people ask about manifestation and the practice of it, okay? This is actually the bridge to how to convert your inner version with your outer version, okay? The bridge. So this is the main idea. The main idea is this. Your delusion is your spark. So that's the vision. They call it you're so delusional, and it's a beautiful thing now. Delulu is the salulu. But your delusion is the spark. It's your vision. Your manifestation is the fire. It's what comes up, right? That's your form. Now, the work that you do is to turn your spark into like this big, steady blaze so that it's always burning. Can you picture that? That's what that is. And so this bridge has some actionable steps. And the first thing that I want you to do is you have to see it vividly. You have to see it vividly. So you have to create a sensory-rich mental image. A sensory-rich mental image. The second thing that you have to do is feel it. You've got to feel it really, really, really fully. Okay? Your emotions are the magnet. And two of the most powerful emotions that you have are gratitude and joy. You can experience gratitude and joy in anything, no matter what your life is looking like, feeling like, and what you're experiencing. You could be down to your last dollar and not sure if you're going to be able to pay your lights, but you have a home and it's warm inside the home right now. You're going to say, you know what, I am so grateful that I have this. You can be grateful for all the other things. Find the joy. Think about, and if you don't have anything to be joyful about in the moment, think about a time when you experience joy and then just go back to that feeling. They're such powerful, powerful feelings, okay? They create dopamine in your body, and that's your happy hormone. We love that. So, and what ends up happening is because it creates that dopamine and that happy hormone, your body starts to crave it. Your body starts to crave the dopamine, and then you're going to seek out other opportunities to feel this way again. So to feel grateful and to feel the joy. So then you're going to continue doing the things that you did in terms of your manifestation practices and living from the end in order to get that feeling again. How is that a bad thing? It's not. It's such a beautiful thing. You always tap into joy and gratitude. Will you feel joy all the time? No, you're a human being. But will you know how to tap into it now? Yes. Okay? You're going to do anything so that you can chase that feeling, including pursuing your passions and helping others, The best way to feel grateful and to feel joy and to feel abundant is to help and do for others. Do well so you can do good. It's beautiful. The third thing is to declare it boldly. You're not just going to say it as a whisper. You know what? I'm gonna be, say, a millionaire. I'm gonna be a millionaire. No. We're speaking things in the present tense, and we're using I am. I am is the language of God. We talked about this yesterday. I am instead of I will. Because to say I will means you're always chasing it. To say I will means you don't have it yet. So I am brings it in the present tense. I don't want you to continuously chase it. I hear all the time, I will be successful. Okay, great. When? Success is an inside job. So I am successful now. I will be the #1 salesperson in my company. Great. When? No. Identify as the #1 salesperson in your company now. I am the #1 salesperson in my company, the highest income earner in my company. You've got to identify it as now. Bring it into the present tense. Okay? I am brings it into the now, even if there's no evidence of it. Okay? Not yet. I am is your right now. The fourth thing is you've got to act as if. We hear that all the time. People think that's the fake it till you make it. It's a little bit better than that. You're taking consistent steps towards your future. Taking consistent steps towards your future. So what I would say to you is, what is it that you want to have, be, do, experience, or go? Who do you need to be to have, be, do, experience, or go to that place? Now, imagine that you have that thing. Be, do, experience, go. What steps did you take to get there? Work backwards. Work backwards. In the marketing world, when I was in corporate, we used to have a work back schedule. You have what your deadline is and all the things that needs to be done to get to it. So it's the same thing. Work backwards. Take consistent steps that your future self would take to get there, okay? And then the fifth thing is surrender without giving up. Now, surrender was hard for me. Like, what do you mean surrender? You want to give up? You what? I didn't understand the concept, but what it means is you've got to detach from the how. How am I going to do this? How long is it going to take? Or the when. When will I see results? When this? When that? That doesn't matter. How it happens is none of your business. It's God's business. When it happens is none of your business. It's God's business. The only thing you need to know for sure is that it will be done. That you will see it. That you will experience it. Okay? You need to stay aligned with what it is that you desire and be persistent. Persist until. ... Persist until. Okay? And so think of your desires like a radio station. It's one of my favorite examples. So that's what the smile is. Think about it as a radio station. We'd like to call it Abundance FM. I know. If you are on Lack FM, you're only going to hear scarcity. Okay? You're only going to hear scarcity. And you're only going to hear the reasons why you don't have what you want. You're only going to see why things are so expensive. You're only going to see, oh, that doesn't happen to people like me. You're only going to see lack. You're only going to see limitation and just the scarcity. Everything that you do will be for survival and not for growth. That's not the way to live. And that's how most people live. We live to not experience pain. We don't live to experience joy. We've got to switch that up. But that means that you're in lack of FM, but it's okay. We can switch that. The bridge is in you tuning into a new frequency. Okay? So your inner feelings, your thoughts, your actions, that's part of your frequency. You pay attention to them until you're on Abundance FM, until you get from lack to abundance. Just change the dial, turn the dial. Pay attention to the things that you're saying to yourself, your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the feelings that you have when you think of money, when you think of going for something new. What comes up? Does discomfort come up? Does nervousness come up? Does anxiety come up? Does doubt arise? Pay attention to those things. Pay attention to your actions. Again, are you acting in a way because you don't want to fail? Or are you acting because you want to win? How you show up and what your results are will depend on the intention behind the action. It does. It depends on your identity as well. Okay? So, put another way, delusion without embodiment is just daydreaming. It is. It's just daydreaming. But manifestation without that delusion, that focused delusion, it's just hoping. So we need to merge the two of them together so that you can see something powerful and have the result. The magic is when they meet. Okay? The magic is when they meet. So your delusion is your vision. That's your imagination at play. Go deep into it. Spend as much time there. It's your fourth dimension. Dream up all the things that you want. It's free. It costs you nothing. Okay? We used to do it as children all the time. I used to want to be a singing cowboy. Not a cowgirl, a cowboy. I saw myself as a cowboy, had a hat and a microphone, and I was good. That was my delusion. That was my vision. Your manifestation is the outcome. So that's the end goal in real time. The end goal in reality, okay? If you've bent reality to your will, you've now experienced your manifestation. The assumption is the bridge, okay? So that's what's coming up next, your bridge to get you closer to it. Your identity is the foundation of everything, So without a solid foundation, what do you think is going to happen? Your results are going to be crumbly. They're going to be rocky. They're not going to be long-term. You're going to end up sabotaging. You're going to end up going back to where you were. It all falls crumbling down because your identity and who you know you are to be is not solid. You're in between two minds and two worlds in your mind. You're old and you're new. You've got to pick one and go with it. And then your action is the accelerator. It's the thing that drives it, that pushes it ahead. That's where we've got to be. Okay? Live from the end, act from the end, assume from the end, feel from the end, decide from the end. And your life will reorganize itself around you. That's what that is. Which brings me into the next, which is living from the end, as taught by Neville Goddard. I've been studying Neville for years. I had an affinity to him because I found out he was a Caribbean man. He's from Barbados. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's hear what he has to say. And honestly, if you haven't studied the teachings of Neville Goddard before, I highly recommend that you do, because his teachings and using the law of assumption were a game changer for so many, not just myself, but for so many. It helps you look at things in a different light, through a different lens, a different perspective. And it's what's missing. It's part of again, we focus on our senses, what we see, what's going on in our outer world, and not what's going on in our inner world. But our outer world only reflects what's going on inside. Our results are a mirror of who we are and who we assume to be. Most of us are walking around with an identity that's not even ours. There was this quote that I love. It's, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am, but I am who I think you think I am. And essentially what that's saying is our identity is based on how we think other people perceive us. So what's your role in the friend group? Are you the strong friend? Are you the fun friend? Are you the friend, the reliable one? At work, are you the one who always gets things done? Or do you just go to work, do your job, and go home? You don't make any friends. And people expect that from you, so you continue showing up in that way. We're showing up, living life based on an identity that's not even ours. It's based on an identity that was given to us. When I was a child, I used to think that I was shy. I heard that once. And so I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm shy. I was so shy, I was afraid to play with my own friends. They were my friends. Make that make sense. I adopted an identity because somebody told me that this is who I was. And part of the reason that I started doing this work, initially it was for teens and young adults, because I wanted to get to them so that they can learn who they are before the world told them who they should be. And then it just bloomed into this beautiful thing where I'm helping a lot of people unlearn and grow into who they're supposed to be. And so living from the end is just a big part of that. So I want to talk about that, okay? It's this metaphysical principle, and it's the law of assumption. So Neville Goddard made it really, really famous, okay? He said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and continue feeling it until it hardens into fact. Yes, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and continue feeling it until it hardens into fact, until it becomes fact, no longer a theory, no longer an idea, okay? And so this teaching is the ultimate expression of divine delusion. It's divine, baby, because to live from the end means that you're believing in what your senses can't yet verify. And so it's like, what? No, I choose to believe it. I believe it. My outer world, there's no evidence of it yet. I can't verify that this is true, but I believe it. And that's what that is. Divine delusion. It means walking as the woman who already has the success, who already has the love, the freedom, even while the outer world hasn't caught up yet. Okay? It's holding a level of faith that's so unreasonable and so unwavering that people will call it crazy. They will, because they won't understand it. How could you say that? How could you be this way? Why are they always so happy? What's going on? Their life is shit. But they're walking around in their delusion, assuming something else. Okay? Assuming something else. It's beautiful to me. It's so beautiful to me. I just love it. But that is the secret. That's the actual secret, and that's how you create quantum change. And you need to create quantum change. I mean, and it's not the unreasonable faith in, how do I want to say this? Let me say this again. It's holding a level of faith so unreasonable and so unwavering that people might call it crazy. This is what I want to say. I don't mean like having faith in your partner that they will change. He's a good man, Savannah. He's going to change because you're with them. I can change them. I can fix them. Having belief so you stay in a situation that is really not good for you, right? But you have faith. That's not what this is. I mean faith in yourself that you will see it through no matter what in the right way, that your clients will come, that you will get the money to pay your bills, even if you don't know how, that it's coming. That's the faith that you need to have. You have faith that when you order pizza from Domino's or wherever, that it's going to show up in at your house exactly the way you ordered it. You have faith that when you order something from Amazon, that it's going to show up within a day or two because you got Prime and you paid for that, and it's to your specifications. You have faith in that. You need to have faith in these things too. Faith in yourself. Okay? Faith that it will all work out. Show me how good it can get, and then believe it. Okay? Because that is the secret, and that is how you quantum change. And so this requires some serious reflection. And a lot of effort from you, because you're actually going to have to deny your senses. You're going to have to deny your senses in order for you to push through. Okay? So you have to see what you want in your imagination. Your world and your senses, your world's going to tell you it's not there. You can go look in your bank account and, well, you're telling yourself you're a millionaire, but your bank account says you have like $3,000 in it. You got to deny it. Add some extra zeros in your mind's eye. That's how we do it. Okay? So again, when your eyes show you that there's not enough, the law of assumption will have you seeing it anyway, because you're assuming the wish fulfilled. You're assuming that it's true. You're assuming that you're going to go from enough, not enough, to more than enough, to overflow. Okay? So I actually want you to imagine that you're standing on the edge of a canyon. Okay? And on the other side of that canyon is your dream life. That's where you want to be. It's the health. It's the business. It's the love. It's the success. It's the wealth. It's the peace. It's the power. All of that is on the other side of that canyon. but you can't see the bridge that actually connects it. You can't see it. So logic would say, because we are a logical people and we are always in our right mind, it would say, well, don't move until you see the bridge, right? Don't move until you see the bridge. But faith, your divine vision, that delusion, the divine vision says, take a step and the bridge will present itself as you're going along. And that's what it is. The bridge will appear at your feet. It always does. It always does. That invisible bridge is the law of action or the law of assumption in action. Okay? The law of assumption in action. Let's see, what do I want to say? Okay. Every step you take from a place of belief creates the pathway as you go. Isn't that beautiful? Every step you take from a place of belief creates the pathway as you go. Okay, so I'm going to give you a real life example. Something that actually happened, which was the law of attraction and action, law of assumption and action. So in 1985, we now know him today as this major actor, Jim Carrey. I'm sure you've heard the story. Before he was famous, before he had all of these acting roles, he had driven up to maybe Malibu, somewhere in California, and he was sitting down and he would just go and visualize himself being successful. And he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. Okay? And it was dated Thanksgiving 1995, I believe. It's just like, this is what it is. And so every day he would visualize, he would feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He would embody being that person who is a $10 million actor who's earning $10 million for acting services rendered. All the time, every day, every day, every day. That's what he would do. He carried that in his wallet for years, which shows that he had dedication and persistence. Too many of us want things when we want it really, really quickly. We're in a microwave society. Sometimes you gotta wait because manifestations are always delayed, okay? So he was visualizing it, he was believing it, he was feeling the emotion of it being done. He was literally living from the end. And so then in 1995, the exact year on the check, he got to co-lead in a movie. You might know it, it's called Dumb and Dumber. And they paid him $10 million for acting services rendered. Come on. That's not coincidence. That's the law of assumption. That's the law of assumption. He wasn't hoping. He wasn't just wishing. He knew it was going to happen. And you have to have a sense of knowing, a sense of certainty. Again, forget about your senses. Leave them alone. Push them away. Leave logic at the door. You have to deny your senses and just know. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. You just got to know that it's going to happen. Okay? And the science of it is this. When you assume a new state of being, your subconscious mind begins to reorganize itself to make that identity real. Isn't that cool? It does it to make that identity real. So it rewires your brain. It recalibrates or regulates your nervous system. Oh, that's what we need, right? Your vibration matches, or your vibration rises to match what you've said to be true, what you've declared to be true. We need to be making declarations over our lives all the time. I decree and declare that this is what it is. You say it with conviction, you mean it, and that's it. That's it. Your vibration rises to match what you declare to be true. And so you're no longer chasing a dream, my friend. That's not what's happening. You're actually remembering who you already are in that reality. You're remembering who you already are in that reality. So, to bring it all together, the law of assumption requires you to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling of the wish fulfilled. That means you have to assign a feeling to what you were manifesting. What does it feel like to your manifested goal? So when you start envisioning what you want, you start living as if it's a reality, as if it's already done. I want you to pay attention to the feelings that are conjured up, to the feelings that you experience in that place, in your mind's eye, when you wake up and you're waking up in your palace. I don't know. You're waking up in your palace, and what does that feel like to you? There's a book called Feeling is a Secret. It's actually by Neville Goddard. You can listen to the audio on YouTube it's 39 minutes, but it's so powerful. Feeling is the secret, and it's true. It pulls it all together and it makes it feel real. That's what it does. Those feelings is what your subconscious mind feeds off of. And remember, our subconscious mind is running our life. It's ruling our world, and it will only accept things. It will never reject anything. So whatever you feel in conjunction to what you're thinking, that's going to be the new feeling for it. That's going to affect your nervous system. It's going to affect your subconscious mind. It's going to affect your actions, and it's going to affect your beliefs. It's going to affect your results. Imagine. Feelings does all of that. It's the secret. So what does it feel like to be in perfect health? What does that feel like, emotion-wise? What do you feel now that your mortgage is paid off, or you've paid your rent for a whole year? What does that feel like to you? Impress that in your soul, in your body. A broadcast alert. So impress that in your soul as you're thinking about it, okay? What emotions arise now that your family is complete, the way you want it? Your relationships and your prayers have been answered. What does that feel like to you? These are the things that you should be thinking about on a regular basis. I don't want you to use your imagination for bad. We're always using our imagination to create fear-based responses. Oh, what if this happens? This is going to happen if I don't do this, instead of this is what's possible when I get this, when I do this. We're assigned, remember, our feelings will give us what we need and push us to where we want to go or keep us where we are. Regardless, you are a master manifester. Everything in your life that you have right now, you have manifested it. Okay? You have manifested it. And it's based on your beliefs, your feelings, your actions, your thoughts, your energetic level, your vibration, all of it. So what are we assuming? And what feeling are we attaching to it? Every time you show up as your manifested self, you need to revisit those feelings. Every time. And you should be showing up as your manifested self. Initially, it's going to be like, I'm doing this for 5 minutes. I'm her, I'm him for 5 minutes. And then maybe on your lunch break, you're walking around as the person and you're listening to the music that brings you back to that place. But eventually it's going to be an hour, and then 2 hours, and then the full day, and then a week, and then a month, and then a year, and then this is who you are. So what feelings are there? You have to revisit them often. It's literally an energetic pull toward your outcome. Okay? Your wish fulfilled, that's the outcome. And it's not wanting it. It's not hoping for it. You're not trying to believe it's possible. You're not. Okay? But assuming the identity in totality as a whole of the version of you who already has it. That's what we got to do. It's the purest form of focused and sacred delusion. It's a holy imagination, if you will. Okay? A divine audacity. That's my tambourine. A divine audacity. Because to live from the end is to walk around as someone your physical reality has not yet caught up to. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let's do an energy check. How are we doing right now? I want to make sure that you guys understand it and that you get it and that this is feeling like something in you. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, where do we want to go from here? I said feeling is the secret. Oh, this is what it means, okay, friend? It means that you feel chosen before. This is good. You feel chosen before you meet the partner. Feel it first, right? You feel wealthy before the bank account reflects it. Okay? You walk with confidence before you ever know how it precedes it, okay? You speak, you move, you show up, you invest, you decide like the version of you who already made it. It's not pretending, it's alignment. That's what that is. And it's not delusion here, it's identity selection. You're choosing your identity. You're choosing how you want to show up in this world. You're choosing who you want to be. And your identity determines your destiny. Your identity determines your destiny. So let's talk about why most people don't manifest their big dreams. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. Why don't people manifest their big dreams? They might be able to manifest something small. Like, I got a coffee today. Somebody bought me a coffee. That's great. Or, I don't know, I got a compliment. You know, I wanted to feel better and somebody gave me a compliment. I manifested that. But it's because they try to manifest from their current self, their current identity right now, instead of from their manifested self or your future self. I don't like to use the term future self, but I'm going to use future self, okay? That's why. Neville said, you must become the thing that you seek. So the thing that you want, the thing that you're looking for, you have to be it first. And that's part that most people avoid. They won't invest in their mind. They won't invest in their mind because they don't want to spend the money for the program. But they want the results from the program. See what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? They want to be considered for a promotion, but they never communicate that they want to elevate. How does that work? That they have desires to move up. They want their relationship to be better, but they're unwilling to be better in their relationship as well. To be better means that it's on both parts. You've got to be better in the process because there's a lack of faith in the outcome, and that's why it doesn't happen. That's why big manifestations are taking so long. There's a lack of faith in the outcome. You're looking at things from the lens of where you are now, instead of from the version of you who already has it done, who already has what they want. So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, if you want to quantum leap your life, completely change your reality, you have to decide who you have to be to get it. And then you have to be that person and then work your way back. Does that make sense? Becoming requires faith. It requires imagination. It requires emotional boldness. That's what that requires. But most people want evidence first, and I get it, because it's senses. We want to see it to believe it. They want proof. They want guarantees. They want certainty in the physical before embodying certainty in their mental. Show me some results, and then I'll do it. What do you want? What do you desire? Why do you need to see what some other person is doing when the person doing something else is not you? And the way you will show up is different than the person that's doing something else. What's happening here is that you're looking for a way to not proceed. You're looking for an excuse to not move forward. You're looking to create a limitation that says this is not a good idea. And we talked about this yesterday. Your brain does not seek success, wealth, opportunity, or elevation. Your brain seeks stability, comfort, survival, familiarity. So if what you're feeling right now and what you're experiencing right now, even if you feel uncomfortable in it, it feels terrible to you, your brain is going to look for more of that. More of it. And you're always going to find ways to get more of it. The universe will provide what it is that you believe to be true and what it is that you truly desire. Because that's the way manifestation works. But your reality is always going to be a delayed reflection of your self-concept, of what you believe you are. So you have to be the version of yourself who's already accomplished. You have to be. You have to be the version of you who's already accomplished your goal before you start. It's not about after. It's about before you start. And you've got to make decisions from that mindset, from the person who's already there. So if I am a person who desires to have millions, I'm a multimillionaire, am I going to be concerned about spending $5,000 on something that's going to make my life better? No, because I know it's going to make my life better. I'm making an expansive decision and I'm acting from that. And I'm acting from the version of me who already has it. It's not about, I don't know where the money is coming from. It's about being who I need to be. And that's what we're missing. You know when they say seeing is believing? It's actually seeing internally is believing first. Okay? Your belief precedes your manifestation every time. And we're doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong. You can have anything that you want. You can create anything that you want. You can live anywhere that you want. You can have anything that you want. But you're waiting on permission. You're waiting on the how. Well, how do I do it? Just decide you want it. And then when somebody brings it to you, how you can get it, just jump. Jump. Trust yourself. Forget about the process. Trust yourself that you will see it through. Okay? Start making decisions from the mindset of the person who already has it, who's already and not from your current circumstance where you are right now. We've got to move past that, my friend. We have to move past that. It's a must. It's a must. I was reading this book. It's called U Squared. It's by Bryce Pritchett, and he talks about the quantum leap. And part of quantum leaping is, well, I told you that we've got to deny the senses, but you actually need to employ a healthy, heavy-ass dose of uncommon sense. So you know when someone says common sense is not so common? Like when something is right in front of you, it's plain. It's like a no-brainer, right? I want to change my life. Here's a program that's going to help you change your life. You choose not to do it. Well, that's dumb because it's a no-brainer, right? You need to apply some uncommon sense. You need to do things in a non-logical way in order to create something else. When Steve Jobs was coming up with the idea for the iPhone and he wanted to merge music, the internet, and I don't remember what the third thing was, people laughed at him. They couldn't see it. It didn't make sense. They were unaware of the technology. They didn't think that the technology was there. The technology's been here all along. Nothing is created. It's already there. Are we aware of it? And so he just used some uncommon sense. He's like, I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to think like everybody else. I'm not going to do like everybody else. I'm not going to act like everybody else. I'm not going to go like everybody else. I'm going to sleep different. I'm going to show up different. I'm going to do things in a nonsensical way to others. I'm going to follow this path. I'm going to create new neural pathways using uncommon sense. And so your nervous system, we talked about this, it's just like your brain, it's connected. Your nervous system seeks safety and familiarity. And that's why new identities feel uncomfortable. That's exactly why. And that's why purchasing a high-ticket item, something that's in the thousands, it feels scary or it feels out of reach to you. It feels like I don't value myself enough to have it, right? It's why the idea of being a millionaire feels so far-fetched. Because you can't see it for yourself. It feels unattainable. But people are becoming millionaires every day. So what is it about them that can do it, but you are a very special case that can't? Are you the only one in the world who just can't make it? Are you that up here that you just cannot? No. It's just that you're not aware of it. You need to have some uncommon sense. And so it starts by recalibrating and regulating your nervous system. Okay? You're teaching your mind and you're teaching your body to feel safe in success, to feel safe in wealth and uncommon favor. You need to feel safe in it. The moment that you feel safe in it, you will make steps towards having it. Your capacity will change. A lot of people think about the amount of money that's the greatest amount you've ever made. You've got a money ceiling, can't make higher, you want to, right? Your capacity is not that you don't deserve it. So your nervous system won't allow it because it doesn't feel safe to have more. You could have reasons of, I don't know if my life is going to change and I don't like that. What if people now see that I have money and they just want more from me? What if I mismanage it? It's like when people say, I'm only going to show up and play if I'm going to win. There's no chances being taken there. So you're never going to get what you want because you're thinking in a common way. So you have to recalibrate your nervous system and teach your mind and your body to feel safe in those things. And then it starts with deciding first. You decide first that you're going to do it, and then you figure out how to do it afterward. We got it backwards. We want to know all the who, how, where, when, whatever the words are. Who, what, where, when, why. We want to know all of those things first. It doesn't matter. Decide that it's going to be done, that this is what you're doing. And all of the answers will present themselves bit by bit by bit. Take a chance on you. So it's like when a plane takes off, okay? And they put it on autopilot. And because of wind, because of the weather, whatever happens, the plane gets recalibrated. It kind of goes off course, right? You need to course correct. You need to recalibrate so that you can find your final destination. That's exactly the same thing. You got to recalibrate and course correct so that you can find your destination. And it looks crazy at first because your current results in your outer world are a lagging indicator. So like I said before, manifestation is delayed. It's done, but it hasn't shown up just yet. It's a little delayed. So your current results are a lagging indicator. You don't see it yet because it's delayed. And so you're like, that's crazy. What are you talking about? It's not going to happen. I've tried and it didn't work. It's that picture of the man who's digging for diamonds and he gets this far away that diamonds are on the other side, but then he turns around with this pick and he walks back. But if he just went a little bit more, that's what we do too often, okay? Belief precedes manifestation every time. Your inner state must precede your outer shift. That's it. And so if it feels risky, good. If you decide you want to do something and it feels risky, good. Good, I want that for you because that means you're on the edge of a transformation. You're so close, you're right there. Your transformation requires that you take a chance on yourself. When is the last time you took a chance on yourself? I want you to bet on yourself. You bet on everybody else. You tell your kids that they can do it. You tell your friends that they're unstoppable. Talk to yourself the same way and believe it. Take a chance on you. Okay? Know that you can do it. Past results be damned. Past results be damned. Know that you can do it. Okay? Just keep going. That's what you've got to do. Keep going. Now, I taught you tools today, frameworks that you could use immediately. Okay, how are we doing on time? Frameworks that you can use immediately. And, but real transformation, my friend, it requires a container. A place to go. Real transformation requires support. It requires guidance. It requires a deep rewiring. And that's why I created my signature program called Unlimited. And I want to talk to you for a couple minutes about that right now, okay? So I just want you for a moment to imagine. Just indulge. Imagine. Imagine that you're waking up one morning and you're feeling completely different. You're calm. You're grounded, you're certain. You look around and you realize that your life has shifted. It's not what it was yesterday, the day before, the year before, okay? You're no longer chasing success. You embody it. Success is within you. So in my program Unlimited, that's exactly what happens, okay? That's exactly what happens. You begin to reprogram your subconscious for success, for wealth, for unshakable belief, for self-belief, the fear that used to whisper, I can't do it, or what if it doesn't work, or what will people say, or I don't have it, I can't make it work. That's going to be replaced with the quiet inner knowing of course it will. Why wouldn't it? Of course it's done. I'm a guaranteed success. And so you move through your days with an embodied sense of confidence and what I like to call can't lose-ism. All right? That's what you're walking around with. And that's that deep certainty that everything that you touch turns to gold because you become the person who it does that for. You become the person who wins. And so your energy changes and your standards rise and your relationships evolve because you're finally showing up as the person, the highest version of yourself, your best self. That's how you're showing up. Okay? So you're magnetic. You're sure of yourself. You're fully expressed. You're fully expressed. Opportunities find you. The clients, the income, the relationships, the lifestyle, it all finds you. They all start aligning because your subconscious is now programmed for abundance. It's programmed for ease and it's programmed for overflow. And then you'll notice that decisions become easier. For some people, it's really tough to make a decision. They've got to ask other people. They've got to get validation. They need to say, let me talk to my husband or my wife. Let me do a year's worth of research. When it takes a second to make a decision, they become easier. Money flows in faster. You stop overthinking and you start creating. You walk differently. You speak differently. You show up in rooms with a quiet power that says, I belong here. That's what happens when you invest in your mind, okay? When you choose to rewrite the programming that's been running your life and has gotten you to where you are today, even though you know that you are meant for more, okay? And so this is what happens when you decide to be unlimited. And that's why I called it that, okay? That's why I called it that. Your next level isn't something that you have to chase. To continue chasing means that you never have it. It's always out of reach. You're always running. You're always going. You're always doing. At some point, we need to allow things to come to us. And I teach you how to do that, okay? It is already who you are. It's just waiting to be activated. So what is unlimited? I have an education company. It's called the Breakthrough Academy. I've been running it for a few years now behind the scenes. I've been doing a lot of one-on-one coaching and mentorship, but we've created a group coaching program because I only have so much capacity. I was getting a lot of people coming in and I want to live a life of ease. I don't want to run anymore and always have to look at the clock and go to the next meeting and this, that, and the other. So through the Breakthrough Academy, we have courses, we have programs, we have resources to help you elevate, to help you transform, to help you grow and succeed. And so Unlimited is a transformational program for people who are tired of trying and they just want to start becoming. They just want to start living. You know, that's what it is. I created this program because it was exactly what I needed years ago. Before I learned how to shift my identity, before I was able to create what I've created, okay? I needed this and I wish I had it. I wish I had it. And there's so many of you who need this. And so it's here. And so it's here. I was in a pattern of poverty. My identity was always tied to the approval of others and my results reflected that, okay? Low self-esteem, even though I was a good actor, even though I presented as bold and courageous. No, now I live that way. Okay, so it's a transformational program, Unlimited, for, like I said, for people who are tired of trying and who just want to start becoming, who want to start living. So what we do is we rewire your identity, help you create the identity that matches what you desire. Okay? And your identity can shift many times over. You do not have to be the same person all the time. Your brain is neuroplastic. That means that it changes. It's not finite. We're infinite. We have so many possibilities. I help you tap into that. Okay? We rewire your nervous system. We rewire your financial results so you start to receive more. We help you move from ideas to the embodied results that you want. So the pillars, the main things, I'm going to explain this to you, okay? So the with identity rewiring, we remove your old paradigm. So that's your old habits, okay? And we help you install a new operating system, if you want to call it that, because that subconscious mind and that identity is our operating system, and it causes us to act. It causes our results. It causes our behaviors. And it's rewired for wealth, love, leadership, whatever it is that you desire. With regard to subconscious programming, we give you techniques to hardwire your wish-fulfilled state. To hardwire your wish-fulfilled state, okay? Nervous system alignment. So we do a lot of somatic practices so that your body accepts success, wealth, love, leadership, and your brain accepts it as safe. So that you don't find yourself in just earning and then losing. You don't find yourself in sabotage and mismanaging and creating situations that don't feel good to you. It's a full reprogramming, recalibration, okay? We have wealth frequency and strategy. So this is both spiritual frequency and frequency work and practical wealth building and keeping strategies and techniques. There's accountability and community. So, honey, we do them in small cohorts. Okay, I provide group coaching, but I do it in small cohorts so that when you start, you might not feel comfortable with other people. So the smaller, the better, where it's just an intimate gathering of people who are audacious like you or becoming audacious like you. But they're supportive people and they mirror your path, your higher possibilities, okay? And they help push you forward because we all need accountability. Sometimes some people will start a thing and they just fizzle out. We won't let that happen. We're going to lift you and push you and encourage you the way you need, not in a forceful way, so that you can experience what it is that you experience, okay? It's for those who have a hard time following through. And then there's live coaching. So you're going to have direct support, okay? Direct support as you embody and scale. So I'm going to be teaching you how to do less to get and experience more. Would you like that? I think that's what we really want. What do they call it? The rat race? We're in a society and a time in our lives where it's go, 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 and we receive less, less, less. And with this and this whole reprogramming and this fully transformative healing, development, personal development, and growth program, you're learning how to do less, but be more and have more and receive more. So what are some of the outcomes you can expect? Confidence. Mad, mad, mad confidence. A confident identity aligned with higher earnings. Okay? Clearer decision making, faster career movement. These are some of the results that my clients have had. Increased income streams. I've always said one source of income is too close to none. Whether I was in network marketing, corporate, finance, education, having one source of income is too close to none. Increased income streams is a beautiful side effect of this. Manifestation practices that actually work. Okay? I don't teach you things that I know don't work. You can just go online and get that stuff. I teach you what I know works and what I've experienced. So you can learn how to manifest anything that you want. A nervous system that doesn't panic. Please, a nervous system that doesn't panic when opportunity is presented or when it shows up. Please, please, please. There's so many people who struggle with that. So many people who struggle with that. We don't want that. And a life that looks different. So because the program is 6 months, your life can start to look and feel different within 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and beyond. And it's because you've shifted your identity. So that's what you can expect. Now, I know to a person who they've always wanted to but they've never committed to taking a chance on themselves, that this is going to feel uncomfortable and that this is going to feel like, I don't know, I can't do it. And you start to get all those doubts and those fears and those questions. I just, again, want you to remember, what if everything that I want is possible? I want you to look at things from what's possible instead of what are all the things that could go wrong. In this case, there's nothing that's going to go wrong. The only way you will not do well is if you choose not to embody the work. And we have amazing embodiment practices, so that you can succeed. Okay, so that you can succeed. But again, if you feel uncomfortable, it's great, because that means that there's a shift in your identity. It's already begun. You're now getting between two minds. Okay, you know you were made for more. You just have to push through that. Okay, this is going to help you be that more, bring you that more. And so I'll be honest, it takes courage to enroll in this program. It takes courage to invest in your mind, period. This is not like buying a chocolate bar. This is creating change so you could change your life and live the way you want to live instead of the way that life has been given to you. So I get it. I absolutely get it. But it does take courage to enroll and to say that I'm not who I used to be, or I don't want to be who I used to be. I don't want to live this way anymore. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. It takes courage, okay? But that courage is a form of healthy delusion. It's the right kind that becomes a sacred assumption, okay? That becomes a sacred assumption. Unlimited is that bridge. It's that bridge between where you are right now and where you want to be, and where you are right now and the person who has everything. Let's say that. That's that bridge. It's very simple. I guess I'm unlimited. But it's that bridge between where you are and the person who has the identity, who already has everything. So this is what's included with the program, okay? So it's a 6-month self-study course and group coaching program. You have 15 weeks of course material that you can double up if you need. It's up to you. You're going to work at your own pace for this. But this is where there's going to be recorded lessons, and you have a workbook where it's your guide to success. It's your blueprint to transformation. This is where you're going to really sit down and learn about yourself. There's all the questions in the workbook. You're going to hear the lesson. You're going to have all the questions that work with that. How to determine what your current beliefs are, how to create new beliefs if you have limiting beliefs, how to remove money blocks if you have one, or a money ceiling, how to change your paradigm, how to acknowledge your conscious mind or your subconscious mind and rewire and reprogram that, how to create a living legacy. I don't want you to just, leave a legacy behind. I want you to live a legacy now. How to be bold, how to show up in this world, how to be the confident you now, not at the end, now. So you're going to have that in that workbook companion guide and those 15 weeks of course material. There are weekly live coaching sessions that I will teach you for about an hour. Sometimes we go over because it's really fun. There's a lot of questions, or there's something that needs to be touched upon. So weekly lessons for the duration of the program. So for 6 months, okay? There's going to be weekly embodiment practice sessions, either taught by me or a member of my team. There are 3 other people on my team who've gone through all of this material and are very helpful and can guide you through what you need, okay? We have a private client community. It's just for the people who are involved in Unlimited. Okay, so that private client community, it literally is a community. Okay, I create a new one for each cohort. So there's going to be community, there's going to be accountability, there's going to be support. Your replays will be there. What happens if you can't be on a live lesson? The replays will be there for you. Okay, event information, all of the stuff. If you want to meet up in person, all of that stuff. There, some of the groups have created a manifesting book club based on like a lot of the books that I've read or books that they've read that have been helpful. So we meet in there for that as well. Okay, it's really a great place to just be with other people who are going through what you're going through so that you don't feel alone. And this is where you're going to have a lot of connection to me, who will be teaching majority of this material. Lots of direct access, because I've experienced all of this. Okay? There's going to be, you get access to my Wealth Identity Masterclass. So I highly recommend that you pay attention to it. The Wealth Identity Masterclass, that will be sent to you as part of this program. For those who are not in Unlimited, you can get the Wealth Identity Masterclass on its own. And then we have Wealth Mastery modules. A really beautiful side effect is you become so confident in yourself that you attract more wealth. You allow more into your life. You start to live from a place of abundance. Okay, we are no longer creating limitations. We are living in abundance and prosperity. I created this because I wanted you to have soul's prosperity in all areas of your life, your identity, your career, your health, your finances, your relationships, all of it, soul's prosperity. When one of them is off, everything is thrown off. So if you have a lot of money and you went shopping and you bought yourself a new outfit, but you have no friends to show it off and say, hey man, you look real good. We're not good. We need to focus on that as well. So soul's prosperity. Some of my client results, I've had clients go from $8,000 months to $49,000 months. That's their new baseline. I've had one go from $3,000 in earnings a month to $15,000 a month through their business. Definitely increased confidence. I've had clients go from being so timid and trauma-filled with regards to relationships to doing a complete 180, opening themselves up and finally entering a relationship, a solid relationship, a passionate relationship, a committed relationship, a sexy relationship. And they've been single for 6 years prior. 6 years prior, because they did some identity work and they went through Unlimited. A young couple, they did this program together, and they finally decided to buy a house. They were renting for years and they finally decided to buy a house. But 30 days prior, before they made the decision, they didn't have the deposit. You know, it doesn't matter that you want a house until you decide. They figured out the deposit and they bought the house. And it's beautiful, and I'm so excited for them, okay? A strong sense of identity, the feeling of being free, that's unmatched. That's what you get, the feeling of being free. I don't know how else to express that to you. If you've ever wanted to feel free and feel at peace, that's what this program provides for you through your work. You're the one who's going to be doing the work. I'm going to be guiding you and teaching you and coaching you and mentoring you. I'm going to be answering all your questions. If you feel stuck, I'm going to show you techniques to get unstuck. Okay? As long as you're open to learning and open to growing and open to receiving the life that you want, then you will have it. You will have it, okay? So for 6 months, you're being coached by someone who's been where you are, okay? I'm not shy about this. I've told you about this many times, that I had been in foreclosure multiple times. And my last time I went from foreclosure to over $1 million in less than a year, because I finally shifted my identity. I changed my beliefs. I did everything that this program offers, but I embodied it very quickly. Which is why there is massive change in me. And so Unlimited, for the cost for Unlimited, it is $6,000 for paid in full, or it is $8,000 on a payment plan. So the payment plan is $1333.33. Okay. However, I've never done this before since I've created and started offering this program. And I'm very excited to do this. It's a one-time offer. I'm thinking it's because it's Black Friday, but it's also because I'm celebrating something amazing that I manifested in my life recently. And the best way for me to celebrate is to give back. So I am for the next few days, I'm offering a one-time reduced price to $5,000 for the paid in full and $1,000 off for the payment plan. So your payment plan, instead of $1,333, will be $1,166.67. Okay? This is for 5 days. I'm offering this for 5 days until the 24th, Monday the 24th, 11:59 p.m. Okay? 5 days. That's it. Fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the quick. I don't know how else to give you. I'm not giving it for free. I've always heard people won't pay attention until they pay. It's what it is. But I want to give you a reduced offer, a one-time offer. You've got 5 days. So if this is something that you want to do, I highly recommend that you jump on before the price goes back, okay? I had someone ask me about financing before, and that's actually why I created the payment plan, because people will buy a car for $50,000 or $60,000, right? But they're not paying $50,000 or $60,000 outright. For the people who have the capacity to do so, yes, you can and you will. But many people don't have that capacity. So they finance it and they make their payments back each month. When I started my program, when I took a program before, it was 8,000 USD, which was like $1 million Canadian at the time. I had to borrow the money. I didn't have it. Remember, I was going through a foreclosure. I didn't have it. But I knew I needed to change something because I was always going back into the same situation, the same cycle over and over again. So I borrowed it. And life changed for me, in less than 9 months, because I embodied it. I became it. Okay, so I want you to think about this. Like, think of every teenager who's going to graduate from high school next year in the spring. All of them, and they're going to post-secondary education. Do they have the money to pay the tuition for the full 4 years? Most of them don't. Most of them do not. So what do? They make payments. They make payments that are palatable to them, payments that are within their capacity. Okay? Some get a loan, some use a line of credit, some work, but they make payments. And that's normal behavior. I want you to understand that's just the way the world works these days. It's the way the world works these days, okay? It's normal in every other circumstance, and so I'm making it normal here. This is not about, it's a luxury, okay? It's not a luxury. This is alignment. That's exactly what this is. Choosing this program is choosing to change the future of yourself, your family, and your community. And I'm pretty certain that this is what we all want. We want to make changes in ourselves, our community, and within our family. Okay, it's not about purchasing a course. That's not what this is about. Okay, it's not about purchasing a course, just so you understand. It's about finally placing a high enough value on yourself. You put everybody first. You put family, kids, job, parents, friends, everybody first. I want you to stop putting yourself last. You deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve to treat yourself as if you are the worthy person that you are. You have a high value, and it is time that you start recognizing that and living in that value, okay? Your transformation begins when you enroll, not after. It begins the moment you enroll, because you're showing up as the version of you who's already transformed after the program is complete. Isn't that great? You're assuming the wish fulfilled. And that's what we want for you, okay? So if any of this has resonated with you today, okay, it's because you're finally allowing yourself to see great possibilities. And you deserve that. I want that for you, okay? So I'm going to invite you to enroll, register for Unlimited, okay? You can do that. I will put the link in the chat. Let's see. I'll put the link in the chat right now. I'll put the one for the paid in full. So remember, it's $5,000 right now. And then for 5 days. and I will put the one for the payment plan right below it, which is $1166.67. Initially it was $1166.66, but I don't do that 666. I don't do that, baby. I'm not about that life. I'm not calling any of that into my world, and I'm not calling any of it into your world either. Okay? So I will put that in the chat. Here we go. I'll say payment plan. Here we are. Good. They're both there. Okay? Go ahead and register through the links in the comments. You can also get on a one-on-one call with me. I highly recommend that if you want to discuss more, if you want me to walk it all through to you, bit by bit. We'll discuss your goals and how this program can help you reach that. By all means, I will just put in the comments, call, the word call. And I will send you the link to book the one-on-one to choose your time. Okay, I'll send that to you because you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose through this conversation. You get to learn a little bit more and see how this can work for you. Some people need a few more touches. Not everybody is as bold and courageous. They need a little more, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, okay? But I just want you to understand that after Monday, the pricing goes back to the original price of $6,000 and $8,000 for the payment plan, $1,333.33. I've made it smaller so that it's easier and more palatable and can fit in your capacity, if that is your capacity. But if you do have access to the paid in full, get in that energy. It feels really good. Get in that energy, okay? Fortune favors the bold and the quick. Success leaves clues, and it loves speed. Don't wait too long on your elevation. Don't do that, okay? You were never meant to be realistic, my friend. You weren't. You were meant to be revolutionary. There's so many people who've changed their personal world just by changing their identity. That's what is waiting for you, okay? So I want you to go and rehearse the life that you want. Rehearse it, live from the end. Practice the law of assumption. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Step into your divine delusion. See it, feel it, embody it every day. Every day, okay? Tune into your abundance FM. If you're out of tune, out of whack, just pay attention to your feelings, your emotions, your self-talk. Assume that the end is done. Because the moment that you decide what it is that you want, it is done. Don't worry about the how. None of that matters. The how is none of your business. It's God's business. Remember that, okay? Take a step, and we will meet you there. We'll meet you on the other side to get you there, okay? So I want to just thank you for your trust. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for being audacious, your audacity. I want to thank you for being open to possibilities. I want to thank you for all of that and for your willingness to be a little delusional, okay? Just a little delusional. I want to thank you for that, because that's the work of pioneers, the work of people who are changing things, people who make things happen. It's not the work of people who wait for things to happen to them. That's not you, okay? That's not you. So I will see you in the next space. Oh, wait. The homework will be posted shortly. If you have access to the Money Mindset and Manifestation group where this is being aired, then the homework, there's homework for day 2. The homework will be posted. Day 1 was posted yesterday. Go ahead and do it. The replay, if you registered through email, will be emailed to you. Otherwise, the replay will be posted on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Shani Leatham, by end of day. You can go watch this because there was a lot of information, okay? So now I'll say I will see you in the next space. And for those who are enrolling in Unlimited, I'll see you and we'll go deeper with that, okay? I'm excited for you. So with love and appreciation. I'm Shani Leatham. Have a good rest of the day.